The night is quiet, but the drama, oh darling, it's never been louder. You may have forgotten all about your favorite nighttime soaps, but Miss Kane, she never did. She's been watching all the affairs, the betrayals, and the big hair, and now she's here to tell you everything you missed, or perhaps just forgot. This is Drama After Dark. Slip into something comfortable, and let's catch you up.
Don't just watch the scandal, darling. Subscribe and join the drama every Friday.
If you're new here, darling, welcome to Drama After Dark. And if you've been watching with me for a while, well, it's good to see you again. Around here, we revisit the golden age of nighttime soaps, one episode at a time, the power plays, the betrayals, and the spectacularly bad decisions that made these shows absolutely unforgettable. Tonight, we're heading back to Southfork for another chapter of Dallas. So settle in, love. This one gets rather interesting.
It's Southfork. The Ewing family is welcoming its newest heir, darling. Baby John Ross has arrived. But the youngest Ewing isn't home yet. While the family prepares to bring him home, Sue Ellen is finally leaving the hospital.
So, the season just opens at the hospital, darling, where Sue Ellen is being released. The doctors say baby John Ross is doing quite well, but because he was born a bit early, he still needs to stay in the nursery for a few more days, you know. JR. Oh, he thanks the doctor and tells Sue Ellen there's no reason to worry. The baby will be home soon enough, he says. Sue Ellen, ever so calmly, she agrees, insisting everything is going to be just fine. Right. Back at Southfork, Jock, Bobby, and Ray are already dealing with the problem out on the ranch. Bobby, he's found a dead cow near the Braddock County line, and it doesn't take long for them to confirm the cause. Screwworm. Oh dear. If they don't catch it quickly, the infestation could spread through the entire herd. Imagine. The men decide they'll have to ride the ranch in the morning and check every single head of cattle. Just then, JR arrives at Southfork with Sue Ellen. Ray, he jokingly announces the arrival of Ewing III, and the ranch hands are just so happy to see Sue Ellen back home. JR, he encourages her to smile and wave to the men cheering her return. Later, inside, JR promises Sue Ellen he's going to make things right and try to make her happy now that she's home. Sue Ellen, she simply says she's tired and decides to lie down before dinner. Over at Ewing Oil, two unexpected visitors, Jeb Ames and Willie Joe Garr, stop by looking for JR, recently released on bail while awaiting their manslaughter trial. They claim they just came to congratulate JR on the new baby. The secretaries tell him JR isn't there, and that while Sue Ellen has gone home, the baby is still at the hospital. Ames and Garr say they'll come back and see him later. Once they leave, the girls admit those two give him the creeps. Meanwhile, back at Southfork, the Ewings begin gathering on the patio. JR plays the gracious host, fixing drinks and assuring Miss Ellie that Sue Ellen is perfectly fine and just needs rest. Miss Ellie isn't so convinced. Jock and Bobby return from the range and join him, and talk briefly turns to trouble in the herd with Screwworm. Lucy comes out and JR offers to fix her something, but she quickly shuts that down and says she'll get it herself. JR jokes that he tries to be nice to her, but she won't let him. Lucy simply points out that Pam is home, and for the first time in a while, the whole family might actually be together for dinner. So, the family, they really try to rally around Sue Ellen once she's back inside Southfork. Darling, Pam greets her in the hallway and tells her how wonderful she looks, but you can already see Sue Ellen isn't exactly in the mood for conversation. Pam later tells Bobby she tried talking to her, and it was almost impossible. According to Pam, Sue Ellen seems completely closed off. Bobby thinks she just needs time. He believes once Sue Ellen realizes the family is on her side, she'll start to come around. Pam isn't convinced. In her mind, Sue Ellen might actually hate all of them right now. A little later, Bobby approaches Sue Ellen himself and tries to reassure her that the family truly cares about her, not just the baby everyone has been waiting for. Sue Ellen politely thanks him, but there's still a wall there. Bobby asks her not to push everyone away and reminds her she has friends who want to help. But when he brings up trusting him with what she once confided about Cliff and the baby, Sue Ellen immediately shuts that down, calmly insisting she has no idea what Bobby is talking about. So, while the rest of the family's just starting their day, Sue Ellen, darling, she's already pulling away, isn't she? Oh, JR stops by the bedroom, bless his heart, and he asks if she's getting up. But Sue Ellen, she just says she'd rather stay in bed and rest. JR, he even suggests they pop by to see the baby, and maybe, just maybe, grab a spot of lunch afterwards at that restaurant they used to like. But Sue Ellen, oh, she shuts that idea down immediately. She says the doctor told her to rest, and, well, traveling all the way into Dallas isn't exactly her idea of taking it easy, now is it? When JR brings up visiting the baby, Sue Ellen, she calmly reminds him the baby is perfectly fine and says she doesn't want to discuss it anymore. Meanwhile, downstairs, the family's all chattering about heading into town to see the baby. This Ellie, she even suggests driving Sue Ellen herself so they can all visit together. But JR explains Sue Ellen isn't going to Dallas today because the doctor told her to stay in bed and rest. Pam, bless her heart, she points out that it's not unusual for a new mother to need rest. But it's clear, isn't it, that everyone's starting to notice the same thing. Sue Ellen still hasn't gone to see her baby. Over in Austin, Cliff is still focused on taking down the Ewings. In a meeting with Shaw, he studies drilling maps, looking for ways to block Ewing oil. Shaw warns him he can't spend all his time targeting the Ewings, or it will start to look like a vendetta, something that could hurt Cliff politically. Cliff agrees to slow down, at least for now. But as soon as the meeting ends, Cliff calls the hospital maternity ward to check on the Ewing baby. Claiming to be a friend of the family, he asks about the baby's condition and how long he'll still be there. Meanwhile, at Ewing Oil, JR arrives for his own meeting. His secretary tells him Jeb Ames and Willie Joe Garra have already called several times and even stopped by the office, but JR says they can wait. During the meeting, JR is introduced to a new environmental lawyer, Alan Bean, who says he's already working on a strategy to counter Cliff Barnes' attempts to shut down Ewing oil operations. Just then the secretary interrupts. Willie Joe Garr is calling again. JR refuses the call. Outside the office, Ames and Garr make it clear they're not planning to go away quietly. So over at the hospital, Pam and Lucy, darling, they stop in to see precious baby John Ross. Pam, bless her heart, even asks the nurse if she can give him his bottle, since Sue Ellen isn't feeling well and probably won't be visiting that day. The nurse, she hesitates at first, pointing out it's usually the mother who feeds the baby, but she allows it. Later, back at Southfork, the family, they gather on the patio for drinks. Pam and Lucy, they share the latest news from the hospital. The baby, he's doing well, small but healthy, and even gained an ounce since the day before. Jock, he's clearly proud to hear it. Sue Ellen, she joins them, but she keeps her distance from the conversation, quietly asking Lucy for nothing more than a club soda. After a moment, JR pulls Sue Ellen aside and tries to encourage her to show a little more interest, starting with the baby. Sue Ellen, she calmly points out the child hardly seems to be lacking attention. JR, that man, he then tries another approach, reminding her how hard it was for her to quit drinking and telling her he admires her for it. He says if they both try, they can fix everything that's gone wrong between them. To prove it, JR presents Sue Ellen with a gift, a maternity ring he picked up that morning. Sue Ellen looks at it and shuts him down completely. She reminds JR that he used to be able to buy her, but not anymore.
The drama sparkles best when you're part of it. Subscribe and stay close, like a whispered secret. Leave a comment, tell us what has you gasping, because every scandal deserves an audience.
The next morning at breakfast, Miss Ellie tries to have a quiet talk with Sue Ellen. She gently reminds her not to spend so much time dwelling on the past and tells her, from where she sits, Sue Ellen's future actually looks pretty bright. Miss Ellie even says that having a baby might be exactly what both Sue Ellen and JR needed. Sue Ellen insists she's perfectly happy. She tells Miss Ellie that JR has been wonderful and says her little boy is the most beautiful thing she's ever seen. But when it's time to head into Dallas to visit the baby, Sue Ellen suddenly says she feels dizzy and decides she should lie down instead. So, Miss Ellie and Lucy go to the hospital without her. Now, while they're there, the doctor gives them some very good news. Baby John Ross is doing much better than expected, and there's really no reason to keep him in the hospital any longer, which means the baby can come home tomorrow. Miss Ellie is absolutely thrilled and can't wait to tell the rest of the family. Over at Ewing Oil, J.R. Darling is in a meeting with the new environmental lawyer, Alan Bean. They're going over strategies to counter Cliff Barnes's attempts to block drilling, you see. And Bean, bless his heart, is ever so confident he can draft a solid environmental impact study that would make it very difficult for Barnes to shut the project down. But the meeting is suddenly interrupted when JR's secretary announces that Jed Ames and Willie Joe Garra are outside, insisting on seeing him. Can you believe it? JR tries to brush them off and says he's busy, but the two men, they just walk right in anyway. The nerve! Now, these are the same men, mind you, recently released on bail, and they make it clear they didn't come for small talk. Oh no! They remind JR about Julie, the woman who died after threatening to expose what was going on, and they claim they were protecting him as much as themselves when that situation got out of hand. According to them, the legal battles they're facing have drained their money, and now they expect JR to help pay the price. Well, JR isn't having any of it, darling. He flatly refuses to give them a dime and reminds them they're already out on parole. If they try anything, he'll have them back in prison before nightfall. The meeting ends with Ames and Garr storming out, promising JR he's going to regret this. Oh, the drama. Back at Southfork, Bobby makes one more attempt to reach Sue Ellen. He tells her he's heading into Dallas to visit the baby, and, he offers to take her with him. Sue Ellen, bless her heart, politely thanks him, but, she refuses. Bobby, darling, he presses a little harder, telling her she just can't keep going on like this, avoiding the baby and pretending nothing has happened. Sue Ellen, with that glint in her eye, insists she isn't avoiding anything at all, and says she's simply following the doctor's orders to rest. Bobby, bless his heart, tells her ignoring the past isn't going to make it disappear, and says he only wants to see her happy. Sue Ellen's answer is just simple, isn't it? If Bobby really wants to help, he should just leave her alone. Later, Bobby runs into Cliff outside at the hospital. Cliff says he's there to see his son, and, that's all Bobby needs to hear, isn't it? Bobby reminds Cliff he warned him to stay away from Sue Ellen and the baby. Cliff fires back that this is between him and Sue Ellen. Bobby, darling, makes it clear that's not the case anymore. Cliff says he loves Sue Ellen and wants both her and the baby. Bobby warns him that pushing Sue Ellen now could just absolutely destroy her. Cliff, bless his heart, he just doesn't care. He says, one way or another, he's just gonna have them both. Well, the next morning, things are already moving early at Southfork, darling. JR's up, discussing business with Jock, mentioning a possible oil opportunity overseas. The conversation briefly turns to Ames and Garr, and Jock, bless his heart, makes it perfectly clear he wants nothing to do with them after everything that's happened. Outside, Pam pulls Bobby aside for a quick chat. She senses something is bothering him, and before long, Bobby admits what it is. Cliff. Bobby tells her Cliff was at the hospital again the day before, and that he warned him to stay away from Sue Ellen and the baby. Pam, bless her optimistic heart, believes Cliff will eventually understand how fragile Sue Ellen is right now. But Bobby, he isn't convinced. He says Cliff is looking for trouble, and if he keeps pushing Sue Ellen, it could just destroy her. Bobby urges Pam to talk to her brother before things spiral even further, heaven forbid. Meanwhile, inside, Jock asks JR if he plans to take Sue Ellen to the hospital. JR says he will, and by the time everyone gets home that evening, baby John Ross should finally be coming home. Jock, he's just thrilled at the thought of bringing his grandson home. Just then, Bobby arrives to pick Jock up so they can head back out to the ranch and deal with the cattle situation, leaving JR behind to handle things at the house. Later that afternoon, JR arrives home and finds Sue Ellen just sitting quietly by the pool. Teresa asks if she's feeling better, and Sue Ellen admits she's a little improved, but she still seems ever so distant. JR comes over and tells her they need to get ready to go into Dallas and bring their baby home. Sue Ellen says she doesn't think she can go. According to her, she has had a terrible headache all morning, and the sun hasn't helped at all. This Ellie gently suggests JR try to be patient, but JR has clearly run out of it. Once they're alone, JR pushes harder, accusing Sue Ellen of pretending to be sick just to avoid the trip. He tells her everyone in the house is wondering why she refuses to show any real interest in her own child, while Sue Ellen fires back that it's rich hearing that from him. But JR refuses to turn the conversation into an argument about his behavior. Instead, he lays it out plainly. She's going to get dressed and go into Dallas with him to bring their baby home. Sue Ellen asks what he plans to do if she refuses, drag her out of the house. JR calmly suggests she won't want to make a scene. After a long moment, Sue Ellen agrees to get dressed. JR and Sue Ellen, bless their hearts, finally arrive at the hospital to bring their precious baby home. But darling, something is clearly amiss the moment they get there. The entrance, you see, is absolutely swarming with reporters and, oh, the police. JR, in his usual demanding fashion, immediately wants to know what on earth is going on. And then, a police lieutenant, looking ever so grim, pulls them aside and delivers the news no parent, not even those two, ever wants to hear. Little baby John Ross. Can you believe it? He's been kidnapped. The hospital staff, bless their cotton socks, are absolutely stunned, insisting nothing like this has ever happened before. The police, of course, say they're already investigating, but at this point, no one knows who took the baby or why. JR, trying ever so hard to stay in control, tells Sue Ellen, darling, to go with the police while he contacts the family. A moment later, he breaks the news to Miss Ellie. The baby, he's gone. Miss Ellie, poor dear, can hardly believe it and asks how on earth something like this could possibly happen. JR admits no one knows yet, but he warns, until they do, the whole family, yes, the whole family, needs to be careful. And just like that, the Ewings' joy, their absolute joy at bringing their grandson home, turns into a nightmare. To be continued.
Well, wasn't that deliciously messy? Miss Kane walked you through the drama, and trust me, the secrets are just starting to spill. But don't think it's over, darling. There's always another scandal waiting in the shadows. This has been Drama After Dark. Until next time, we'll be watching. Will you?